the militaristic country of Castellum, known for its wealth and might. The province of Mira, dedicated to the study of magic. The floating land of Solivia, the pinnacle of the church. The elven woods of Orcarnia, home to the dragon riders. The mining nation of Unteralia, where the mountains reach the sky. And the fallen kingdom of Aroace. These lands make up the magical world of Kamiya, a world where anything can happen. Cities can fly high in the sky, mountains can become castles, but not all the magic is used for good. Darkness lurks around every corner of the world. This is a story about that darkness, and about the 9 individuals who come together to put a stop to the darkness. A story of love and loss, joy and sorrow, life and what it means to be mortal. This is the story of adventure. This is the story of Joaquin walks down the stairs. He looks tired and is rubbing his eyes as he yawns. How in the 9 layers of hell do you all get up this early? He asks. Amal, Cobley, and Weedap are sitting on the stools next to the bar. Thorfeld and Anno are sitting on the couches. It's 9 a.m., Amal says. Most of us have been up before 8. Cobley and Weedap got up at 6, Cobley exclaims. Hey, don't get mad at me. I've been up all night trying to find that murderer, Joaquin states. You're not about to find him. He has been killing for a couple months now. And besides, the murders are happening in Torbin. That's about a week of travel away, Amal says. Can't blame a guy for trying, Joaquin says. I suppose I can't. Besides, I'm still trying to figure out where we can begin with our investigation. And I'm waiting on Cassam to respond to my request. We have a few free days on our hands, Amal says. Oh, if you have a few free days here, would you all be a lamb and go to get some supplies for the rose? Madame Hotaru's voice pipes up from behind the kitchen. She walks out towards the bar. Cobley can help. He would love to, Cobley says. Well, you do seem very responsible, Cobley. Here, Madame Hotaru says. She hands Cobley a piece of paper. I need some more potion materials which you can get from Mavis. There's a list of them all. One of the ingredients, however, can only be obtained from Hexia's farm. Also, I'd imagine you all want to go and check out Freckle's shop. She runs an armory here. A lot of adventurers pass through this town. Okay, potion ingredients for Mavis and Hexia, and check out Freckle's armory, Cobley says as he takes the list from Hotaru. Here is the money for your ingredients. How soon can you head out? Hotaru asks as she gives Cobley a small bag of money. We can head out now, Cobley answers. Wait, aren't Adnik and Rook still asleep? Joaquin asks. No, they woke up earlier. Rook said he was heading out for a bit, and Adnik said he would be back. You're the last person up, Amal answers. Ah, Joaquin says. Wait, aren't we forgetting Marina? Anno asks. She looks different than she has before. Her hair is pink, and she seems almost as energetic and cheerful as Cobley. I haven't seen her, Weedap answers. I believe I found her, Madame Hotaru says. Weedap looks in the kitchen, and Madame Hotaru is standing there with one of the cupboards open. He walks over and looks in the cupboard and sees Marina lying down in it. They look up at Wadeb and Hotaru. I'm looking for sugar, sweetie. Have you seen it? Hotaru asks. Marina reaches behind themselves and grabs a bag of sugar. They hand it to Hotaru and close the cupboard. Well, your friend is a little strange, aren't they? Hotaru asks. I guess so, Wadeb says. He knocks on the cabinet door. Marina slowly opens it and looks at him. We're heading out to do some shopping for Madame Hotaru. We're also going to check out the armory. Would you like to come? Wadeb asks. Marina nods their head and climbs out of the cabinet. Oh, by the way, could you take Fenrir with you? He can show you around town. Plus it's time for his walk. Hotaru asks. Okay, Cobbly answers. The group leaves the White Rose and begin to head into town. As they do, Joaquin feels a strange presence coming from the woods. Time almost slows down for him. He turns and sees a black wolf cloaked in shadows, with glowing white eyes, standing at the edge of the woods. Who are you? Joaquin asks. The wolf doesn't respond. Joaquin draws his sword. If you want to fight, I would be more than happy to oblige. The wolf begins to speak. Beware the one who hunts his own kind, it says. What? Joaquin asks. The wolf disappears into the shadows. Joaquin stands there, dumbfounded for a few seconds. What are you doing, Joaquin? Thorfinn asks. Joaquin looks over and sees the rest of the group a few feet past him, looking back at him. He looks back at his sword. Oh, I'm just staring at the woods with my sword drawn, Joaquin answers. Why, though? Thorfinn asks. Cause nature has had it good for too long, Joaquin says. He throws his sword at a tree. Take that, nature. Wasn't that your only weapon? Wadeb asks. Maybe, Joaquin answers. Come on. Let's make sure to get you something new at the armory, Wadeb says. He mutters to himself under his breath. Some paladin. When the group enters town, Fenrir leads them to the first shop. Rustic Brews, reads the sign above. Here is the first shop, Fenrir says. This is Mavis's place? Cobley asks. Yep, answers Fenrir. He sits down outside the shop. Aren't you coming in with us? Cobley asks. Shifters aren't allowed inside, Fenrir answers. Well, that's just rude. What if a shifter wanted to be their friend? They would lose out on a new friend, Cobley says. It doesn't matter, Thorfinn says. Let's just get what we need and move on to the next place. Thorfinn walks past everyone and into the shop. Maybe it matters to some of us, Cobley mutters under his breath. He and Dalid follow Thorfinn into the store. Inside is a bunch of herbs and bottles hanging down. It is a rather small space, but on the other side of the counter, it's larger with a bunch of potions sitting on shelves. Standing on the other side of the cabinet is a dragonborn with brown scales. Hello, welcome to Rustic Brews. How can I help you? He asks. Hello, I'm Cobley the gnome. Can you help us? We need ingredients on this list, Cobley says. He climbs up on the counter and places the list down. The dragonborn picks up the list and reads it. Ah, Madame Hotaru sent you, didn't she? They ask. Yes, she did. You must be Mavis, Cobley replies. Did Hotaru tell you about me? Mavis asks while he begins to grab potion ingredients. Just your name, Cobley says. Ah. Mavis comes back with the ingredients. Here you go. That'll be 20 gold, he says. Only 20? Cobbly asks as he fetches the gold from the small bag. Yeah, Madame Hotaru gets a discount from me. All the potions I sell here, she makes, Mavis says. Oh, wow, that's handy, Cobbly says. He hands over the 20 gold for all the ingredients. Thorfinn begins to pick them up and carry them. Do you have any ingredients for healing potions? Dalit asks. Well, yes I do. You have to pay full price, though, Mavis says. That's fine. I can afford it, Dalit answers. Mavis grabs Dalit the ingredients to make a few healing potions. After Dalit pays for them, Mavis looks over at Thor. Thor is looking around the shop. What about you, big guy? Anything you want? Mavis asks. I don't know. I'm not much for all this nerdy potion stuff, Thor says. You don't say. Could have had me fooled, Mavis says sarcastically. Thorfinn looks over at one potion that catches his eye. It's a strange, light blue, semi-opaque liquid. The potion itself is closed behind a glass door. What's that? Thorfinn asks as he points to the potion. Ah, yes. That potion. I have no idea what it does, Mavis answers. Wait, what? How? Thorfinn asks. Well, Madame Hotaru made it one night when she was drunker than a sailor. She doesn't drink often, but when she does, she always makes the weirdest potions. Last time she made an iron swim potion. We had to tie that adventurer up. Kept trying to jump into molten iron. Mavis answers. Well, what is that potion called? Surely we can figure out what it does by its name, Dalit asks. It's called a water breeding potion, Mavis answers. Ah, I see, Dalit says. I'll take it, Thorfinn says. What? Asks Mavis. The potion. It looks pretty. Maybe it'll make me stronger. Thorfinn answers. Do you even... You know what? Sure. I'll let you have the potion. Hell, you can have it for free. Just be sure to let me know what it does, okay? Mavis asks Thorfinn. Okay, Thorfinn exclaims. Mavis gets Thor the potion, and the group heads out. Okay, so we have everything but one last ingredient. Madame Hotaru says we have to get it from Haxia's farm. Cobbly states. Oh yeah, that's on the outskirts of the town. Freckles' armory is on the way there if we could stop there first, Fenrir states. I wouldn't mind stopping by the armory, Anna says. Same here, inputs Joaquin. Okay, I guess we could stop by real quick, Cobbly says. Fenrir leads the way to the Rushing Creek Armory. Here we are. Try not to take too long in there, Fenrir says. I'm guessing shifters aren't allowed inside again, asks Zano. No, that's not it. I just don't want to go in there, Fenrir answers. Why not? Joaquin asks. 'Cause of Freckles, says Fenrir. Joaquin walks through the front door of the armory. Who is Freckles? He asks. A knife goes flying past Joaquin's face and embeds itself in the wall next to the door. Dang, I missed, a voice says. Joaquin looks over and sees a tiefling sitting on a counter on the other side of the room. Whoa! Who are you and what was that for? Joaquin exclaims. I am Freckles, and your face looked stabbable, the tiefling says. The rest of the party enters the armory. Hello, I'm Cobbly the gnome. Cobbly sees you have met Joaquin, Cobbly says. Hello, small thing. What brings you all here? Freckles asks. We're just here to look around, Weedap says. What do you have in terms of weapons? Joaquin asks. I have lots of weapons. What kind do you want? Something like you have, Freckles asks. Oh, I don't have one anymore. I threw mine at a tree, Joaquin says with a smile on his face. You don't sound smart, Freckles states. Hey, Joaquin exclaims. Do you have any light armor? Specifically better than the leather I have? Anno asks from across the room. I have some studded leather over there. Freckles points towards some armor on the wall. Don't ignore me, Joaquin says, annoyed. What does cute angel man want? Freckles asks. I require a weapon. One that will let me kill Asmodeus, Joaquin says. Asmodeus, huh? Freckles has weapon that might help. Wait here, Freckles says. She leaves the room and heads to the back of the store. She returns with a strange-looking scythe, with an ominous energy to it. This might be what you are looking for, Freckles says. Joaquin looks at the scythe. The design on it and the energy it emits reminds him of Asmodeus. This has some of Asmodeus' power in it, doesn't it? How did you get this? Joaquin asks. Freckles got it from someone, Freckles answers. She doesn't remember much about it. Why not? Joaquin asks. Freckles lost her memory of it a while ago, Freckles replies. I'm sorry to hear that, Joaquin says. Thorfinn walks over to the counter next to Joaquin. He looks over and notices a piece of paper next to Freckles. He reaches for it. A knife embeds itself on the counter, just a hair length away from his finger. No touching, Freckles says. Thorfinn quickly pulls his hand away. I just wanted to see what it was, Thorfinn says. Freckles doesn't want a big man to know. Freckles isn't even sure big man can read, Freckles says. Don't worry. His heart's bigger than his muscles. And that's saying something, Joaquin says. His muscles are rather huge. Tell you what. You come help Freckles with work tomorrow. And Freckles will give you something cool, Freckles says. Okay, Thorfinn agrees. Freckles looks back at Joaquin. He is holding the piece of paper Thorfinn was reaching for in his hands. He grabbed it while Freckles was distracted with Thorfinn. It is a newspaper clipping. It's another story about someone being drowned in a river. It has a photo of a tiefling. Who is this? He asks. Freckles jumps up on the counter and puts the knife to Joaquin's throat. What does future knife holder think he doing? Give that back, Freckles demands. Whoa, okay, here you go, Joaquin says as he raises his hands in the air and gives Freckles the newspaper clipping. I didn't know you were so into the story of all the murders happening. Freckles takes the clipping from Joaquin. Am not. Was my brother, she says. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. What happened to him? Joaquin asks. Don't know. Was found dead. Shortly after Freckles found the site and moved away. For her safety, Freckles said. She places the clipping next to a strange black box. Anyway, you and your friend gonna buy sight and armor? Freckles asks. Oh, yeah, Joaquin says. He and Anno pay for their gear and the group head out of the armory. Took you long enough. You ready? Fenrir asks. Yep, let's go to the farm. Tomorrow, I get something free after I help Freckles for a few hours, Thorfinn says. You know, she just wants you to show up at sunrise and will work you past midnight, right? Fenrir asks. Wait, what? Thorfinn says. Fenrir lets out a small chuckle and begins to walk away. What do you mean, Fenrir? Thornfeld asks while chasing him. The group make it to the farm on the outskirts of town. Fenrir has a nervous look on his face as they pass by all the cattle. What is wrong, Fenrir? Thorfinn asks. It's nothing, Fenrir says. Oh, it's something, Thorfinn asks. It's just the cattle. They're so big and fun to chase. The last time I did, Hexia was so angry she nearly cut my tail off, Fenrir says. Thornfell kneels down next to Fenrir. Look at them. They're just waiting for you, Fenrir, he says. I don't think we should be encouraging this, Anna says. Nonsense. Look at them, Fenrir, Thornfell antagonizes. Damn it, Fenrir says before taking off after the cattle. Thorfinn lets out a hearty laugh before he begins to chase after the cattle with Fenrir. And they're both idiots, Wadeb says. The two rush towards the cattle. As they do, one of the cows sees the two of them run and alerts the rest of the herd. All the cows begin to run away. As Fenrir and Thorfinn get closer and closer to the cattle, Thor sees Fenrir look to the left. A shocked look appears on his face, and he begins to run away from the cows to the right. Where are you going, Fenrir? He asks. Before anyone can answer, he sees a flash of black and is knocked down to the ground. What the? He says as he looks up. Standing a few feet from him is an angry black bull staring him down. The bull looks like it's going to charge before Cobley jumps in between the two. Whoa there, calm down. We're not going to hurt you, he says. The bull walks up to Cobley. Cobley slowly puts his hand gently on the bull's nose. The bull calms down. It then lowers its head and lifts Cobley up on top of it. It begins to trot around with a smile on its face. What in the hell is going on? A voice says. Everyone looks over to see a hobgoblin holding a battle axe approaching the group. What are you all doing with my cattle? She asks. Oh gosh, sorry. We were sent here to get an ingredient. Thorfell and Fenrir might have gotten a bit excited, Cobley says as he climbs off the bull's head. He walks up to the hobgoblin. I'm Cobley the gnome, he says. Fenrir, huh? I've chased that damn mutt off my property several times. I'm guessing Madame Hotaru sent you? The hobgoblin asks. Yes. Sorry for what Thorfell and Fenrir tried to do. Cobley will make sure to scold them later, Cobley says. Hey! Thorfell exclaims. Thank you, Cobley. I'm Haxia. The hobgoblin introduces herself. She lowers her axe. Come on. I have what Madame Hotaru wants inside. The group heads inside to Haxia's farmhouse. It's rather small, with only a few small rooms. It is a place only made for one person. Hexia begins to gather up herbs the group came for. That bull of yours is rather mean, Thorfinn says. Who, Buttercup? Nah, he's just a big softy. He's just very protective of the herd, Hexia says. He was really mean, Thorfinn exclaims. I guess he doesn't like you, Hexia said. Thorfinn leans back in his chair and looks grumpy. If Buttercup is protective of the herd, then what is the point of the axe? Weedab asks. I've been having an issue lately. Someone or something has been killing my cows, Hexia says. Wait, what? Why? Anno asks. I don't know, but I found about 10 cows killed so far. Their bones broken, and they've been ripped apart, Hexia answers. Could it have been a wild animal then? Anno asks. No, a wild animal would have eaten them. All the cows still had their meat on them. The only thing missing was their horns, Hexia answers. Who kills several cows and only takes their horns? Weedab asks, intrigued. That's what I want to know, Hexia answers. Well, whoever's doing it must be evil. And I like to punch people that are evil, Thorfinn says with new vigor. Now that would be funny to watch, Haxia says with a slight chuckle. You doubt me? Thorfinn asks. I'll tell you what. You help me put a stop to the killings, and I'll let you have Buttercup, Haxia says with a smile on her face. Deal, replies Thorfinn. Alright, I'll see you all tonight, Haxia says. She gives Cobbly the herbs that they came for, and Cobbly pays Haxia. The group heads back to the White Rose and fills them all in with what's going on. After dinner, the group comes up with a plan, and that night they return to Haxia's farm. The moon hangs low in the sky. There are no clouds to block it out. A slight breeze flows through the air. 5 shapes come crawling out of the forest. They crawl on all fours and look like feral dogs, covered in no armor, with flames in their maws. Standing 5 feet tall on all fours, the fray bugs make their way towards the cattle. They look around and see one cattle is off by itself, away from the rest of the herd, and away from Buttercup. They slowly creep towards it, closer and closer. They quickly look to the side when they hear a noise. Standing there is Cobbly. Now, Dalid, Cobbly shouts. The cow that was standing there de-wild shapes it back into Dalid, and his hands get cloaked in rainbow fire and sends it flying towards the fray bugs. The fray bugs manage to jump out of the way. They begin to growl and get ready to attack. A loud bang rings out across the farm. Something cuts one of the fray bugs' legs. They look towards the farmhouse and see Joaquin standing on top of it with his musket pointed at them. The colorful fire that Dalid had shot had alerted him to the threat. They watch as Joaquin reloads. Weedup and Thorfinn come running around the corner of the farmhouse. Knowing they have fallen into a trap, they turn around and begin to run towards the forest. As they run, another shot rings out. The bullet buries itself into the dirt next to one of the fray bugs. They get closer and closer to the forest, and Thorfinn is getting closer and closer to them. As they approach the forest line, an arrow flies out and buries itself in the shoulder of one of the fray bugs. The fray bugs look up, and hiding in the treetops is Anno and Marina. Marina lowers her crossbow and fires a bolt, but the fray bug jumps out of the way. Despite being encircled, the fray bugs manage to run into the forest. Thorfinn follows them into the forest. Thorfinn, wait! Cobbly shouts. Thorfinn can't see the fray bugs, but he knows he must be getting closer. 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 They have to be just around this tree. As he runs, he sees a flash of green to his left. Die, fray bug! Someone shouts as a sword slams down on Thorfinn's face, cutting him. Thorfinn falls down to the ground. What the hell? Thorfinn says. He looks up and sees a young green dragonborn standing with their sword drawn. Who the hell are you? You just got in my way. I was gonna get that fray bug, the green dragonborn says. The rest of the group catches up to Thorfinn. Beryl, what are you doing here? Weedup asks. Dad, the green dragonborn says. Weedup, you know this person? Thorfinn asks. Yes, he's my son, Weedup answers. I didn't know you had a son. You look a lot younger than you are, Anno says. No, I'm still young. I adopted Beryl, along with... Wait, where is your father? Weedup asks. Wait, Beryl! A voice shouts. A blue dragonborn comes running through the trees. He stops when he reaches the group and puts his hands on his knees as he tries to catch his breath. You can't just take off like that, the blue dragonborn says. Io, when did you and Beryl get here? Weedup asks. The blue dragonborn looks up. We just got here. We ran into the fray bugs a few days ago, and have been trying to hunt them, Io says. I didn't know you were married, Joaquin says to Weedup. Weedup and Io's faces turn red. We're not married, just really good friends who have adopted together, Weedup shouts from the metaphorical closet. Anyway, Io, Why are you here? Well, we got your letter, and I thought it would be great to let Beryl see you before you head off on your journey, Io says. We ran into the Freybugs on the way over, and had been hunting them down. And we would have succeeded if it wasn't for this big oaf, Beryl says, gesturing towards Thorfinn. Hey, I was about to get the Freybug myself until you showed up, Thorfinn replies. Why, you... Beryl begins to growl at Thorfinn. Wideb grabs Beryl by one of his horns. Don't get mad at him, Beryl. You're being rude, and you need to apologize, Wideb says. Ow, 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 okay, I'm sorry, Beryl says. No, that's more like it, Thorfinn says. Thorfinn needs to apologize too. He's being just as mean as Beryl was, Cobley says. Hey, he started it, Thorfinn argues. Cobley doesn't care. If Thorfinn won't apologize, then Cobley won't heal Thorfinn's injury, Cobley says. That's not fair. This hurt, Thorfinn cries. All right. Have fun cleaning the wound and letting it heal on its own, Cobley replies. Okay, I'm sorry, Thorfinn says. That wasn't hard now, was it? Cobley heals up Thorfinn's cut. Thank you, Thorfinn says. You're Cobley the gnome, right? Io asks. Oh, yes I am. I'm Cobley the gnome, Cobley answers. Could you show Beryl back to the White Rose? It's getting dark, Io says. Hey, I'm not some little kid that needs to be protected. I'm strong, Beryl says angrily. Don't worry, Beryl. I'll be right behind you. I just want to talk to Waydab for a bit, Io says. I'll come with you two. I'd love to get to know you, Beryl, Anna says. Beryl grumbles, and the three begin to head back to the White Rose. Io waits until Beryl is out of eyesight and turns towards Weedap. His face changes as he looks sad. Is something wrong? Asks Weedap as he sees Io's face. I didn't come here just to see you, Weedap. I also came so Beryl could travel with you instead, Io answers. Why? Is his training that bad? Weedap asks. I've received a new order. I'm sent out to the other side of the wall, Io says. Weydap's heart sinks into his chest. Io, you're not lying, are you? Weydap asks. Io begins to tear up. No, I'm not. This might be the last time we get to see you and Beryl, Io says. Weydap and Io embrace in a hug. I haven't told Beryl yet, Anna finishes. We can tell him together, Weydap suggests. Sorry to interrupt, but you might want to come see this, Dalit says. Everyone looks over, and Dalit is looking past the bush. They all head over and look, and there are some cow horns on the ground, in some sort of ritual circle. The horns are burnt to a crisp. That circle looks like something a follower of Asmodeus would make for a ritual, Joaquin says. I think we just found our reason why the cows are being targeted, Dalit answers. The next morning, Thorfinn sits down by the river next to town. Next to him is a water-breathing potion. He gets up and stands in the water with the potion in his hands. He begins to think to himself, well, if this is a water-breathing potion, then I need to be in the water when I drink it, right? He pulls the cork out and downs the whole thing. It has a bitter flavor to it. Blah, Thorfinn says. He looks down at his body. He doesn't seem anything out of the ordinary. Huh. I guess it didn't do anything, he says. After saying that, he passes out, falling into the water. He comes to, and he hears giggling. He opens his eyes and can see someone's face looking down at them, with his head in their lap. Good morning, cutie, she says. Thorfinn sits up quickly. He takes a look at her. Her top half resembles a human, but her bottom half resembles a fish. Who are you? he asks. I'm Sage. I found you passed out face first in the river, Sage says. What were you doing face first in the river? Oh, I was testing something, Thorfinn says. You're a silly human. She leans forward and falls into the water. She begins to swim around Thorfinn. Human are a rare sight nowadays. What brings you here? She asks. I'm going to save the world from the power of the gods, Thorfinn says pridefully. You're just as funny as you are cute, Sage says. Thank you. Wait, you think I'm cute? Asks Thorfinn. Maybe. Sage continues to swim around Thorfinn. She eventually stops, and the smile on her face disappears. I'm sorry, but we're out of time, she says. What do you mean? Thorfinn asks. Don't worry. I have no doubt we won't meet again, Sage says. She swims up behind him and places her hands over his eyes. I'll see you next time, Thorfinn, she says. She removes her hands. Thorfinn looks behind him, and he doesn't see anyone there. He looks around and still sees nothing but river and trees. He climbs out of the river and finds the empty potion bottle on the side. He picks it up and looks at it before checking around for anyone one last time. Meanwhile, back at the White Rose Inn, Beryl storms out of the front door. Io walks up to the front door after him. Beryl, come back, Io shouts. Why wouldn't you tell me you were going over the wall? Beryl shouts back. I was waiting for a good time to talk to you about it, Io answers. You're going to your death. Why would you want to go there? Beryl shouts again. I don't want to, but I have my orders, Io replies. So ignore them. I don't care if you become an Oathbreaker. I will still have my father, Beryl says with tears beginning to stream down his face. Because if I don't go over the wall, the people are going to get hurt. I have a duty to protect the innocent, Io says. Beryl looks at Io before turning around and taking off. Beryl! Io shouts. Weedab walks up to the door. He's just upset about the whole thing, Weedab says. I know, but still, Io replies. Let's go get him back before he does something stupid in his mental state, Weedab says. The two head into town and search for Beryl. After searching around and asking some passerbys, they can hear fighting coming from an alleyway. They go to investigate and find Beryl pinned down on the ground by an older black dragonborn. You wanna die, kid? The dragonborn shouts. Hey, let go of my son, Weedab says. The dragonborn looks over at Weedab. Your son started it, the dragonborn snaps. Let me go, you idiot, Beryl says as he struggles. The dragonborn looks back at Beryl. How about I do this instead? The dragonborn says. He opens his mouth next to Beryl's head. Acid begins to bubble up in front of its throat. Before he can get the breath up, Weedle grabs the black dragonborn and throws him against the wall. Let me go! I need to teach that kid a permanent lesson, the dragonborn shouts. Io, could you get Beryl back to the White Rose? I'm gonna hand this guy into the gods, Weedab says. I will. Come on, Beryl, Io says. He helps Beryl up on his feet. That guy's a jerk, Beryl says. The two start heading back to the White Rose. Why would you turn me in? He's the one who started it, the Dragonborn asks. Because you're the one who, after the fight, was trying to continue it, Weedab answers. He pulls the Dragonborn off the wall and begins to take him into town to find a guard. As they do, another black Dragonborn approaches them. She's slender and taller, with two horns that come down to her mouth. Hello there, sir. Has my son done anything stupid again? She asks. He got into a fight and tried to seriously harm someone, Weedab says. He started it, The first Dragonborn shouts as he tries to break free from Weedab's grip. Now, Veta. Let Mommy handle this, the other Dragonborn says. The first Dragonborn groans. Weedab lets go of Vetter. Well, if his mom is here to handle the issue, then who would I be to take him to the gods? Besides, he's too young for jail anyway, Weedab says. Why, thank you, the second Dragonborn says. She turns to her son. Why don't you head home, Veta? She says. Vetter grumbles to himself, and he heads to home. She turns to Weedab. I'm Thalva. I'm Weedab, Weedab introduces himself. Sorry for any problems my son caused, Thalva says. It's fine. My son is about to reach his age, Weedab replies. Yeah, he's always acted like this after my husband died, Thalva says. I'm sorry to hear about that, Weedab replies. It's fine, Thalva says. Weedab can feel a strange aura surrounding Thalva, like she's only pretending to be nice to hide her anger at him for holding her son like that. Well, I have to get back to my son. It was a pleasure meeting you, ma'am, Weedab says. I hope we meet again under different circumstances, Thalva replies. Weedab leaves for the White Rose.